So, Big Noriega just dropped his fan mock draft. And I want to make an announcement, too, for anybody that is trying to get their mocks potentially read on the show. The easiest way is when you go to PFF and use their mock draft, because it makes it nice and neat like that. It makes it a lot more easier on us. I usually cut these grades off so that way it's not biased or anything like that for the viewers. Your boy was a little busy today, all right? But this is the best way to do it, though, all right? So I just want to throw that out there. So for the Big Noriega, he decided to not go anti-Kenny with his draft. He went with Joey Porter Jr. to start it out.
Kenny.
He went DeJuan Jones in the second, 32nd overall. Siaki Ika in the second round, the 49th pick. Got Drew Sanders, third round, 80th overall. Love that. Then from there, went with Cedric Tillman in the fourth. Richard Garage? I don't even know how to say his name. But he's a tackle out of Florida. And then Habaku Baldonado from Pitt. Ain't he from like Rome? That's what it's like, Rome, Italy, I think it was.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, shout out, man. Yeah, so off the top of my head, let's see. How do we want to talk about some of these here players? All right, so we're very familiar with Joey Porter Jr. Long, rangy corner. We're going to see what that 40 look like. But overall, just good, really good player, man, coming out of Penn State. Obviously, we know the bloodline and stuff like that. He keeps getting mocked to us as well. One of the big three in terms of the corners that we look at. DeJuan Jones, we like him a lot as well, but that's more of the right tackle. Big body, though, man. Could definitely move people in the run game. Liked his game. Oh, excuse me. I'm about to sneeze, too, man. Siaki Ika. We know who he is. People eater, nose tackle. Hot topic, so to speak, with the chat, though, because I know we got some people that are anti-Siaki. They hate his how he doesn't go 100% effort all the time. I understand. We've talked about that, though. But no, I definitely like his game, though, man. Highly effective, man. To me, he's one of the top nose tackles, if not the top nose tackle in this draft. Drew Sanders can play inside, can play outside, starting caliber linebacker, man. Effective either position you put him at. Range you could cover, gonna hit, smart as heck. Love his tape, man. The Cedric Tillman, though, I like this pickup right here, man. Big body, Z wide receiver or wide receiver 2. Now, when I say Z wide receiver, think of the deep verticals or the deep posts. Think Chase Claypool type. You know what I mean? Like those type of routes, not a Deontay Johnson type. All right. But when you look at Cedric, combat catch guy, man. You put the ball up in the air, man. He's trying to come down with it. I think he plays really physical, and I think he has decent vertical speed. I don't think he's a blazer. I don't think he's a deceptively fast guy, but he's fast enough out there with his size. Not the quickest guy, and he doesn't generate a ton of separation, but he is good at what he is good at, which is, they say, catching them deep balls, man, and ultimately stretching the field. That's what he's for, you know? So I definitely like that part. Then when you talk Richard Garage, I think so you say his name, out of Florida, really good size, man. He plays with really good effort, strong hands, athletic. The footwork, though, gonna need some improvement, man, or just refining at this level. To me, he's a little bit more of a waist bender than a knee bender, and what ends up happening is he'll drop that head, man, and it's just easier for him to get beat like that, man, because he can't redirect. He can't see certain things either because of the technique part, man. So that's one of the things I think he needs to improve upon. And it gets him off balance at times. So there's a couple of clips where I'm just watching. I'm like, he almost looked clumsy to me because of the footwork and the waist bending and stuff. And then when you talk Habaku Baldonado, man, it's a big dude, man. Dude like 6'5", 6'6", man. But yeah, excellent size, long frame. Love the effort he plays with. And really good hand usage as well. And just a smooth player when you watch him, man. He definitely understands the game. And to me, when I watch him, though, he still looks like he's new to football. I don't know how long he's been playing. I don't know his backstory. But when I watch him, just like from a person that's grown up doing it, it's certain things when I'm like, okay, it's a little bit different in terms of his approach right here. But the things that I would say are cons for Baldonado, I don't think he's overly strong and he's not very twitchy. But obviously because he's long and super tall, everything is more, I don't want to say like labored looking, but it's just not fast. And technique wise, he has to play lower. That's one of the big things that show up on his tape a lot, man. He will play 6'5", and that gets him in trouble at times, man. But to me, I think he's more of a true 4-3 DN. I think as an outside, I think in a 3-4, he's a tweener. outside linebacker / 5 technique DN. I don't know if he's big enough and strong enough frame-wise to play that 5 like a Cam Hayward. But then I feel like he's a little bit too tall, and I don't know if he's going to be rangy enough to stand up and play like a 3-4 outside like how you think of Highsmith and TJ. But to me, in a 4-3, I think that this dude could definitely have some productivity there, man. But, those are my thoughts on the dudes, man. How you feeling about this group right here? We got a Pitt Panther in the building.
I think it's a great mock draft. Joey Porter, Ike, and Sanders, 3 of your top 4 picks. I don't know how you got Sanders in the 3rd. It has to be PFF that had Sanders ranked low.
That had to be wrong.
It has to be because he's available in the 3rd round, and this is a PFF mock draft. Yeah, Sanders is a first-round pick. You got him in the 3rd. It's unbelievable. You got 3 guys
when they
I'd
said
assume
B-
are making instant impact this year.
When that joint said
Porter,
B-
Ike,
for Drew Sanders, I was like, "But they sleep. How is that a B- for Drew in the 3rd?" But you what? That's
and then of
insane.
course we draft receivers 3rd, 4th round. I like that, and Cedric Tillman. I'm sure that'll work out just because we're the Steelers. The only one I don't like as much, and it goes back to what we were talking about last time we graded these, was DeJuan Jones because he's set up for right tackle.
Yeah.
Unless you're having him play left, I don't know if he's better left tackle than Dan Moore right now. I don't think he is.
I was about to say, because is Chooks like a cap casualty or something that we don't know about? Like, is he on the hot list? Like, yeah, because
unless could you put this dude to guard? Could you have him compete with Dotson?
Funny thing. No. Actually, I probably wouldn't. Because I think
could it have been that dude from Florida here? This would have been an amazing mock.
Because I always
it already is. I'd say it's probably the best one of the ones we've seen so far.
No, that was a dope one.
It's a really good one. I gotta give props to Big Noriega.
And I was really surprised though because I didn't know where he was gonna go with it. I thought it was gonna be quarterback early or quarterback somewhere in here, man. 3 quarterbacks, but no, this is actually legit right here, man. So shout out to Big Noriega though, man. I like this one, man. It's pretty cool.
That's a really good one.
All right.
Of the 4 we've had, the 3 from last week, and then this one, I'd say that's top one. Top
all
ranking.
right. So far, so good. Then for Big Noriega. Next up on the list, we got the homie from Cali.
Oh, he's saying cut Chooks. Like
okay, so I was going to say, I ain't know where
he's saying save the money.
Be.
Like trade Chooks or something. Save the money and do whatever you want with it, I guess.
All right, then. All right. Let me minimize that a little bit for us, for the culture. Boy, look at the producing skills happening on the fly, Deke, bro. That's what happened when that veggie hit, boy. You never know what might happen in here, baby. All right.
Good shit.
Let's get it. But it's from Lil Vado, holding it down out there on that west side. And this is the one we was talking about. 17th overall, he went with Jackson Smith and Jigba. 2nd round, Deontay Banks. The second round pick in the 49th overall. Dayon Henley, like his game. Garrett Williams in the 3rd. Garen McClendon. Then in the 4th, and then in the 1st of the 7th, Taryn Vincent, and then spun the block with Max Duggar. All right.
Dugan.
Oh, you're right, Dugan. Good call. I'm tripping. Good call. All right, so interesting going with the receiver in the 1st round. He took a little bit of the Deke approach, but spun the block instead of going with the
receiver.
Pitt. Now, the thing with this, man, when you talk Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's a smooth as heck route runner, man. To me, I think he's a natural slot, but he can bump out and play outside. Combat catch guy, creates really good separation. I like his run after catch ability. Tough to tackle, hands catcher. Super duper productive in 2021. Obviously, we know he had the crazy game versus Utah where he was like 347 yards, 15 catches, like something just foolish. This past season, though, he had the hammy, so it really hampered him. The thing that I would say is the knock on him, he's not a blazer in the sense of running away from people. I want to see what he tests. And granted, this could be because of the hammy this season, but even looking back at some of the tape from 2021, he gets caught. And that was one of the things that had me a little bit concerned. And I don't think he's as elusive in terms of like, once he gets the ball in his hand, making a lot of people miss. That was one of the things that, when I took away from Jackson. And then from there, when we talk Deontay Banks, man, this dude got really good size. He's a man-to-man corner, good feet, good technique, super competitive at that catch point too. When you talk about just in terms of the catch point element of it, 8 PBUs. The knock, though, he only had 1 interception in his career. Very similar to what we talked about with Joey Porter Jr. And I also think that with Deontay, he is the opposite. Some guys we talked about have been quicker than fast. To me, Deontay is a lot faster than he is quick. But at the same time, I still have some concerns about that top end just because when I watch him versus the Ohio States, those receivers that we know can go, they were stacking him at times. Whereas when I watch him versus any of the other competition he was playing against, man, he locking all them dudes up. So that's the only part where I'm, like I said, just a little bit concerned about the speed. And I think that he's just a true outside corner. I don't think you're going to be able to bump him into the nickel. After that, love the I was about to skip over my guy right here, but Deion Henley, man, shout out to Deion, man. When you talk about him, man, this dude rangy as heck, play inside and outside linebacker, very, very productive, nose for the ball, athletic as heck though, man. And you can play him in man or zone coverage. I think he has high end skills in terms of when you're watching him blitz, very fundamentally sound. The knocks, to me, I don't think he's overly strong, and that just shows up sometimes when you're watching him take on blockers in terms of just disengaging. And I think that he's more of a 4-3 guy than a 3-4 guy. That's my only thing with him. Like when we talk about some of these LBs, I'm like, if he's in a 4-3, I think he's going to just destroy people. But if he's uncovered and he has to like deal with them linemen coming up on him every single play, I think that could hurt him a little bit more than it can help him. That's my only concern with Deion. But I definitely like the fact, that you're still putting him in this thing, man. So shout out to him. But then when you talk Garrett Williams, man, getting him at this stage, this is major, man. This is major because, to me, the only reason why he's available this late is because he got hurt this past year. He's coming off of ACL injury. He tore it in October. When you talk Garrett, man, this dude has elite level athletic ability. He can literally play outside corner, slot corner, or safety. Like, he's capable of all of that. He's competitive as heck at the catch point. He is going to get the ball. He is elite in terms of his quickness. I even feel like he has that top end speed to match it. That's why I'm kind of interested to see like how fast is this dude, because he looks like he can roll. But I just really like his game though, man. Like I said, the knock to me, number one, he's a wiry frame guy, but that's also why he's able to have the positional flexibility. And the big thing is just the ACL injury coming off. He tore it, I think it was the middle of October, like the 15th, 16th time frame. So that's the big concern. Where is he at with that recovery? How long till he's back to being him? But other than that, I'm like, bro, to get him in the third, that's major. Warren McClendon, excellent size and strength. My man, heavy-handed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. He could generate some movement in the run game. Definitely like that. I think he struggles, though, with speed. That's been the big thing when I was watching him. Struggles with that a lot. Footwork needs some improvement as well. And then when you're just watching him anchor sometimes versus the bull rush, he can refine that a little bit as well. And I think for Warren, the other thing was he wasn't the full-time starter, bro. Like, he would start the games, but he was rotating with they had a young tackle, 65. He would rotate every couple of series back and forth, back and forth. I don't know what to make of that,
Could be the Tom Brady of the offensive tackles.
I don't know. But it was a weird dynamic because I'm looking at Broderick. I'm like, Broderick don't come off the field until it's a blowout. You look at Warren, it's the first quarter. They up, 14 zip, and it's like, all right, you out for the next two series. I've never seen that personally with like the higher end players and stuff like that. So that was a little bit different for me, man. But then from there, when you talk about his 2 7th round picks, Taron Vincent, really good size. He's a true, strong interior D lineman, man. I think he could play the nose. I think he could play the 1 technique or the 3 technique, which is all important for our defense, right? When you're talking base versus sub package. I think he has good short area quickness, and I love his get off. He's super disruptive because of that, but he has to improve his technique. He is one of those guys that gets off the ball, but he's playing with shoulders and flippers, not playing with hands. College level, you're going to dent the offensive line, and it's going to work. But at the NFL level, man, those guys, you're not going to just be able to just go get off the ball fast, put a shoulder on him. You have to be way more skilled because they're going to put their hands on him. And a guy like, I think of Osiris Torrance, for example, right? The kid out of Florida. You're not going to just get off the ball with a shoulder and have success against him. He's going to put his hands on you, and that's going to nullify that. That's the one thing when I look at Taron that I just want to see him improve upon. And he does play a little bit high at times, and that can get him in some trouble. He didn't, took a little ride. And then at the end of the day, man, we talked Max Duggan. Very, very productive, dual threat guy, man. He actually was faster than I remembered. When I went back and watched some of the games over again, I'm like, yo, he could actually run. They did a good job though of actually like calling some design runs for him. I think he has nice ball placement. I like the accuracy. Elusive enough in the pocket. The big question is, it was a spread offense that he played in. So when you're talking NFL style plays, under center, play action pass, read the defense, timing. That's always the big question when you're talking about spread offense quarterbacks coming to the pro style. When you're in spread offense, man, it's just a lot easier to read it. It's just a lot easier to get the ball out. Whereas when you're in a pro style, you got to read that coverage. You got to know what they are in, and they can trick you. And that's the part where I want to see with him. I know the Georgia game, wasn't the prettiest, but
wasn't good for anyone.
That's Georgia. That's what to say. It's Georgia. Georgia that to a lot of folks this year, man. All right. So outside of that game, it was like, man, it was cool. But that's the big thing. And when I think of any of those spread quarterbacks like that, it's like, all right, it's cool. You can put up some numbers, but I just need to know, like, when it's time to really run this offense like how we need it ran, can you do that? But if you're talking about him in the 7th, I think that's really dope value because, yeah, it's worth a flyer. But in terms of just my overall thoughts on this draft, I like this one. Now, I feel like with this one, it's good, but it's risky. Jackson Smith and Jigba coming off of a season where he was hampered with the hammies, and it really hindered him. When you talk about Garrett Williams coming off of an ACL injury, those are big question marks for me, But other than that, though, I still like all of the players per se. What were your thoughts, though, man?
Yeah, if you're taking receiver, take Jordan Addison. I mean, I even got Big Noriega on my side with this one. Yeah. He says in the chat, if you're going to draft the receiver first, you could have got Jordan Addison. And then he goes on to say this. I think he's turned a corner. To be honest, I'll take Addison at 32 if he's there. So this is kind of aside from this. If he helps Kenny improve, I'm all for it.
There you go.
That's nice to see from Big Noriega.
Yeah.
Seems like we're seeing eye to eye a little bit more.
He said he need all the help he can get. That's what it sounds like. That what he's saying? He said take all the quarter.
You see that as a side shot? I saw it as a positive message.
I definitely took it as a side shot. Like, he need all the help he can get. Bring him Jordan Addison. Bring him Jackson Smith. Get Marvin Harrison too. Get them all. That's kind of hot take.
I thought he was complimenting Pickett a little bit.
He probably is. I'm just being messy, bro. He probably is.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Draft receiver, take Addison, because I like all the other picks. And I know you said it's a little risky.
Yeah.
But what I like about the risk here is he's hedging a little bit by having 2 cornerbacks.
No, he is, though. Facts.
High upside in Garrett Williams, getting him in the 3rd round feels like a steal. You can have him sit out for the first half of the season. Then you got Deontay Banks.
Because if Garrett is healthy, Garrett to me is way better than Deontay. But Deontay is already like good in his own right. Like I feel good about Deontay.
I
Absolutely.
do like Banks.
I feel really good about Deontay, man.
Henley, would I prefer a different linebacker? He's one of the top 5 guys. Yeah. Was Simpson available there? Was Sanders available? I would have preferred those two. But
to me, man, Henley, bro, he's productive. That's the thing that I do. Like his tape is hot. You cut it on, you don't have to look for him. Remember that was the thing I had said when I put on the Simpson tape. I was like, man, at times I gotta look for him. With Dayon, bro, you ain't got to look for this cat. You cut that tape on, man. He's around that ball every single play, man. And that was the thing that I did. Like, I just don't know, like I said, if he's going to fit our 3-4 versus the 4-3. And in terms of Jackson Smith, man, if he's healthy, it's, I don't know. It just depends on what your preference is.
Don't get me wrong. He'd be a good receiver.
Dope, yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, both of them are dope.
I'd take Addison, though.
Both of them are dope. I just think it's, personal preference, man. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either player, though. They're both, honestly, very similar. They're legit slot receivers that we're going to see if they can play wide receiver, too. Can they bounce outside? But they slots. They smooth as heck, silky smooth with it, man. When you talk about how they can run routes, I think Addison has a little bit more top-end speed on him. I think Jackson Smith, though, just to me seems like the more just in-and-out player in terms of just winning early on. But to me, I like Addison in terms of the deep ability because he's more like a Deontay to me. Whereas Jackson, like I said, he seems a little bit slower. Just a little bit. I don't know how much, but I feel like Jordan's going to run a faster time, though, man. If I had to put money on it.
I agree with that. And then Dugan, sure, he could be Kenny's backup.
Yeah. That's
backup, 3rd string,
that's
whatever.
Literally all we looking for. Yeah. He ain't got to be nothing special.
Sure.
But I'm hoping that this includes, like, we already have, like, Mitchell or we already have, like, a vet that we was talking about. So,
Right. Probably.
Yeah. But if that's the case, then,
I do really like that draft outside of Njigba. I would have taken Addison.
Yeah.
That's really it, because I like those next 3 picks.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
Banks, linebacker, and then Williams. That's pretty good. And then obviously we got our depth pieces.
Yeah.
For the next 2, and then your quarterback.
You got some extra offensive line help, man. So yeah.
I don't know if I'd take his over Big Noriega or not, though. I'd have to think about that.
We'll get back to review it though. We'll give our final at the end. All right, the last one though. Vince Trumbetto. Dang, bro, was I really tripping? Man, I was like, yo, you could tell I was on my, man, I ain't even centered this thing, boy, Deke. Jeez. Now we good, you know? Sometimes, man, when I be preoccupied, Deke, man, it be cutting into all this other good stuff, man. But, you know, sometimes life happens. All right. So, for Vince Trumbetto, he went with Joey Porter Jr. in the first round. Anton Harrison, the big tackle out of Oklahoma. Then from there, 49, Dayon Henley. Third round, Keanu, excuse me on that. Keanu Benton. And then from there, Parker Washington from my Penn State folk out there in the fourth round. Then the first of the seventh rounds, he went Trey Dean the third. And then out of Houston, Clayton Tune. Is Clayton Tune our new EJ Perry?
Yeah, I've seen him pop up a couple times.
I'm about to say, I feel he's our EJ Perry, bro. Yeah. But shout out to Vince, man. But in terms of these players, obviously we just talked about Dayon. Very familiar with him from what we just said. Man, I might have to drop a film session on him. I'm thinking about it. But after that, Anton, where was our notes on for Anton, man? But he's the big body tackle out of Oklahoma. Think that he is physical, handles speed well, struggles a little bit at times with the bull. That was the difference between him and a guy like Paris Johnson. I think they're very similar, but they struggle with the opposite of each other. Paris, to me, struggles with getting down with some of those speed guys. Anton struggles with anchoring versus some of them bull rush dudes, man. But I definitely like his game, and I think that he could definitely help us out, man. Then from there, Keanu, man, another one of them big body interior D lineman cats, man. Where's our notes on him, actually? Because we talked about him before, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's versatile.
Yeah, because he was one plays nose tackle, plays the one, could play the three as well. I think that for him, plays a little bit high at times. Hands need to be a lot better. But you can see the disruptiveness, especially in the run game. But he's definitely one of those big body nose tackles, man, that when he's out there, you can see he does have some disruptive traits to him. I still kind of like Siaki a little bit more than him if we're talking true nose tackles, but he does give you a little bit more versatility up and down that D line.
Yeah, you're getting him in the third here.
Yeah, absolutely. Then after that, man, Parker Washington. Another one of them slot route runner dudes, man. Really good hands, decent speed, not overly explosive. And he's on the shorter side in terms of receiver. I think they had him at like 5'10", 5'9". But with him, man, he was still a good player. He had some big plays on his tape as well. But I don't know. It was just weird in terms of like when I watch him play, I would expect more productivity from him. But that could be that Penn State offense as well. So just throw that out there. All right. Then after that, when we talk Trey Dean, super long frame, man, safety / nickel corner type dude. Really good quicks and instincts, though. I like his instincts a lot. Think he's really fundamentally sound when you're talking about him as a tackler. Think he's really competitive, and he drives on the ball coming out of his break points really well. I like that. And that just because of how fundamentally sound is with his technique, his pad level. He's really good to be able to burst getting in and out like that. Some of the knocks on him, man, he has a thin frame. Like, he's more of the wiry side. And when I look at, obviously, like a Brian Branch and some of the other higher-end safeties, I think that him athletically is a little bit down compared to some of those other guys. Just when I watch some of the things that he does, he'll still make a play, but I'm thinking of how that's going to correlate or translate when you're talking about better athletes, faster, more space. Is he going to be able to make some of the plays that, to me, when I'm watching him make them right now, I'm like, bro, he's maxing out to do this. That's one of my concerns with him. And then with Clayton Tune, I mean, when you watch his tape, good accuracy. I think his anticipation is there. Give me some Bailey Zappi vibes on occasion, man, in terms of the ball placement. He's athletic, and he does have legit wheels. He will take off. He was very productive, man. 40 touchdowns, 10 picks, man. Yeah, he did all of that. Real question is, can you make the NFL caliber throws when you're talking about NFL Open versus College Open? He had a lot of College Open. With Kenny had College Open, but we saw that translate when he came to the NFL. And it was like, all right, can you put this ball in them tight windows? Because it's not going to be a ton of separation. It's more so the pinpoint accuracy that's going to really fall in. And that's the thing, when you're talking about Clayton Tune, that's going to be the big question. We didn't get a ton of that when he was at Houston. But at the NFL level, that's what he's going to have to show. But if you're talking about taking him on a flyer in the 7th round, I don't have an issue with it, man. So yeah, how you like these drafts, bro?
This one, It's not splashy. I wouldn't hate it. Just
compared
depends.
to the other ones, though.
It just depends. Like I like the structure of it. All right, corner, Joey Porter Jr. Lineman, could we have done better here at this pick? I don't know who's available. Sure. And then you go linebacker round 2. Like, it all makes sense position-wise.
Yeah.
And then, all right, we didn't hit interior defensive lineman in the first 2 rounds. Take Keanu Benton in the 3rd. I actually like that.
I like the Parker Washington move, too.
Yeah, not bad. Like I said, we draft the receiver in the 3rd or 4th. It's typically going to work out for us. And then you got your backup quarterback in Clayton Tune, or 3rd quarterback now, potentially backup quarterback in the long term. Yeah. I like the other 2 better than this one, though.
Yeah, I would agree. Oh, man. So which one do you like the best then? I'll pull him back up. So first up, we got Big Noriega. He went with JPJ, DeJuan Jones, Siaki Ika, Drew Sanders, Cedric Tillman, Richard Gorage.
It's tough to beat Drew Sanders in the 3rd round. That's really tough.
That's very tough. All right. Then we had Little Votto, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Deontay Banks.
Why couldn't have he just taken someone else in the 1st round? Even if it wasn't Addison, he could have taken... I don't know who would have been available. Carter wouldn't have been available. Ika probably would have been a reach at that point.
But if you're going to take a receiver, and these are the top 2 receivers that we're looking at in terms of being around in that range, is that really a bad thing?
No, he's a good receiver. Exactly. God damn it. I really like the Drew Sanders pick, Ika in the 2nd round, late in the 2nd round. Joey Porter Jr. for Big Noriega. I don't like the DeJuan Jones pick. Then for Lil Votto, just pick a different receiver, dude. Just pick Jordan Addison. I'd have you number 1. Damn. Drew Sanders in the 3rd round is an absolute steal. I don't know what settings Big Noriega had this thing on, but...
Hey, yo!
I think I'd go Big Noriega.
All right. You go big? Okay.
I'd have it as a T1, though. Those are the best 2 out of these 3. Me, and I'd say the best 2 out of the 6 total that we brought in.
Yeah, I would agree. I like
and I'm splitting hairs one way or another.
Yeah. I was cool either one, man. Yeah. I kind of like Noriega's a little bit better just because, like, I don't want to go receiver in the 1st round, personally. So it was like,
and with his plan, he's cutting Chooks. He's trading Chooks or whatever to bring in Jones.
So it was like, I kind of like that vibe. I give me some LB. I got my LB that I like the most, right now at least. We even got a Pitt player in here, so we hold true, keeping the factory open. And say it. I like it though. Shout out to Big Noriega though, man. Shout out to everybody that dropped one of them things in here, man, for the mock drafts, man. So with that being said, man, we're gonna keep the mocks coming, man. Keep sending them things on in. All right.